Joining me now on Skype with his analysis is Joel Griffith, research fellow at the Heritage Foundation. Joel, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me tonight.
Absolutely. So, Joel, in today's hearing, we heard the question raised about whether there's a rush to reopen that's actually putting the nation's economic health ahead of workers. What do you think about that? And does it have to be an either-or situation?
No, this does not have to be an either-or situation. I think we see many states, not all, but many states that are reopening, and these are being done in a safe manner. I spent quite a bit of time the last few weeks visiting my family in Georgia, and we just heard the mayor of Georgia admit that this is not nearly as scary and dangerous as she thought it was going to be. In fact, these businesses are open safely all across Georgia and many other states as well. If anything, what we see is we see a number of states that are looked to be actually opening too slowly. The bottom line is we have to protect health, but if we continue this broad-based economic shutdown much longer, we are running the very real risk of an economic depression, and that will not just have economic consequences, that'll have severe social consequences and health consequences as well. It is time to begin reopening society.
Joel, there's also a continued debate over unemployment benefits, how much and how long. What are your thoughts on this and the best approach?
Well, look, I think that politicians had very good intentions in passing the unemployment package a month ago. But the fact is, this has negative consequences because that package pays every person who's unemployed, regardless of how much they're making. It gives them $600 per week in federal benefits on top of state benefits. So what you see is that in many areas, the majority of people that are unemployed are actually receiving substantially more unemployed than they were receiving on the job. And of course, in individual circumstances, they might consider that to be a plus. But if you're talking about the economy wide, that means you are incentivizing people to actually not go back to work. That means that we are actually nudging the economy towards a severe, long-lasting recession because most people, it's just a fact. If you're going to be paid more to not work, a lot of people will actually choose that rather than going on the job. And I've been talking to a lot of business owners, including family friends that run small businesses, and they are telling me that people are already resisting the possibility of coming back as some of these counties are reopening because they're making so much more off the job.
Well, Joel, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said today that the Fed's lending programs for medium-sized businesses and state and local governments will begin operating by the end of this month. What impact do you think that will have on restoring consumer confidence?
Well, I think when it comes to restoring consumer confidence, what that is going to take is actually allowing people to go back to work, to re-engage with their communities and being able to produce more. Look, some of the actions the Federal Reserve took early on were necessary. The purpose of the Fed is to ensure that solvent companies, solvent financial institutions have access to credit. But going ahead and just printing trillions of dollars, which is what we've done. The Federal Reserve has printed more than $2.5 trillion in just about the past 6 weeks. And sure, temporarily that is making people feel better. But longer term, economic growth requires allowing companies to produce, allowing people to work. And I'm actually quite concerned about the possibility of the Federal Reserve bailing out cities and states and counties. You're talking about lending to $1 trillion, possibly over $1 trillion to these some of these states that actually have very severe budget problems, not because of COVID. We're talking about states like California and New York that have had years of mismanagement, and you're going to force good states that have good managers such as Florida and Texas to bail them out. That is unfair, and we see a big push for that right now.
Well, Joel, thank you so much for your insight. Joel Griffith, research fellow at the Heritage Foundation. Thanks again, Joel.
Thank you.